Day 3. Things are going well. I actually already started writing a little bit. Things are going pretty well. I did actually already start writing a little bit earlier. I just sat down and immediately wanted to keep going on the scene. So I recorded a time lapse of that little stint of work. This is the first time I'm sitting down and sort of collecting my thoughts about the writing for the day. Our starting word count today is 3,785, which means I need to get to 5,035 words to have hit our goal of 1,250 words a day, which I think will be quite doable today. I've got the rest of this sequence well mapped out, and I think it'll be pretty fun. I'm excited about what I'm going to write. I think it's gonna be good. Not too much more to say other than I'm really trying not to get too lost in the sauce with this scene. I'm trying to keep in mind, is it escalating? Is it advancing the plot? Is it developing character? That kind of thing. Are we making forward progress in this scene, in other words? And I think we are. This is fun. It feels extremely weird, though, to be recording and talking to camera and putting it out in the world, to be honest. I'm a generally pretty private person, and I feel complicated about this, I think, and sort of just the vulnerability of doing this. But ultimately, I think I'll look back on it and it'll be really cool to have this time capsule of this process. Yesterday, I definitely did have more of a spring in my step than I usually do after a writing session. And I think this has something to do with it. Anyway, we're gonna get right to it. We're gonna write a lot today and just kind of make it happen. All right, let's get into it. Okay, well, for posterity's sake, this is probably as good as this can feel, I bet. I just finished the second writing session. I went for hours. I feel like I could write all night. I'm having such a good time and the words are just flowing. I know that will not always be the case, so I'm really relishing it, but this was great. I've pretty much, not quite finished. I got to a turning point in the sequence I've been writing, and I'm on the cusp of a very satisfying thing happening. This is a sword and sorcery fantasy novel. Got lots of violence, lots of action, much like other fantasy novels, and things that are kind of, heroic myth adjacent. I really want this to be filled with what Brandon Sanderson calls stand up and cheer moments, where you are hanging on the edge of the page, and then a character that you that has either been getting kicked down or that you didn't know was there, like just shows up and does exactly what you want a character to do in that situation, you know, just. And I think, on the cusp of writing one of those. Like anything else, this is probably just me being high on like the this is extreme recency bias maybe, since I just wrote it. It might be absolute garbage, but damn, it was fun to write. Yeah, really fun. Oh, yeah, no, word count. We got there today, and then some. So we started with 3785, 3,785 words, and we wrote 1,809 words. I am not a math teacher anymore, so I'm going to whip out my calculator. That puts us at 5,594 words out of 50,000. My gifted students out there will know that that is more than 10%. We're already more of the 10th of the way through this, man. All right, 5,594 out of 50,000. That leaves us with just the small amount of 44,406 words remaining. Now, do I think the book will be done at 50,000 words? It's a fantasy novel, so probably not. We're gonna reassess when we get there. I would actually not mind this being a short novel. I don't need it to be a doorstopper. I love sort of lean, aggressive, kinetic stories that get in and out really quickly. But then again, all of my favorite fantasy series are doorstoppers. So there's going to be some unconscious part of me that is emulating that. We'll see where we're at once we hit 50K words, but that is still the goal. 50,000 words in 8 weeks. We'll reassess when we get there. I feel really good about this. This is going really well. For posterity's sake, what I've just written is our first time seeing the protagonist in sort of the present timeline. So if this becomes a real book one day, and we all read it, and you get to the part where the protagonist shows up and solves an imminent problem in a really satisfying and cathartic and pretty badass way. You were here when I wrote it, and that's cool. That's pretty neat. All right, we're gonna call it there for the day. I've had too much of a good time today. I need to not let this take over my whole life. Balance in all things and all of that. Okay, thank you again for checking in and seeing how this is going. I'll be back with another update very soon.